Karibuni, welcome tuelimishwe kwa masuala ya jamii, tuchunguzwe sana mbalimbali, tujuzwe juu ya matukio ya kila pembe, kwa burudani kwa familia nzima.
Welcome to Shida Za Matajiri, na mimi kama tajiri mkuu nimefika na shida zangu as always. Shida ya tajiri is in the backstage, and let me welcome the one and only beautiful Fridah Nguku. Good evening. Hi. Shida ya tajiri.
Hi tajiri mwenzangu, tafadhali niite tajiri, mimi ni tajiri.
Shida ya tajiri.
How are you, Eli?
I'm struggling. Dates are finishing me.
They are literally finishing you. They're finishing you completely.
You know, if I try to scratch, the first thing that comes out in scratch card ya Denny, Kenya and myself, same WhatsApp group. Dates are finishing me.
What is the problem, Eli? What is it with this debt thing? What do you think is the problem out here? Why are you struggling with debt?
Mshwari here, Mkesho there, Fuliza there. I'm telling you, I'm all about Fuliza and Okoa and all those. And I'm here to find a way out.
Yeah, and we are here to help each other find a way out, because I feel like everyone is struggling at some point. It could be Okoa, it could be a very small debt that you're used to and you don't even know how much interest you're paying. It could be a huge debt. It could be someone you borrowed money from and now they're like, wewe nirudishe pesa yangu, labda ina interest but bado ni pesa ya wenyewe. So yeah, let's help each other manage these things, bana.
Definitely, and I want us to manage this debt, because starting the year 2022, it's our year, you and I, it's our year of prosperity. That pastor that was telling us we cannot do this anymore. Oh, Jesus is coming soon. No, our Jesus is coming in 2022, because debt and us, we are not going to operate.
Done.
But the only way we can do this, Fridah, is if we are able to manage our debts.
And we are able to tell how to go about that, because sometimes you could be in your mind, I can manage this, but how. The how is very important. Knowing could be one thing, but how to go about what you think is right could be a problem.
Definitely. And you want to be part of this conversation, you can join us in the comment section. Remember, we are streaming live on the TheArtsinHeart official on our YouTube channel, among other subsidiary groups that we have there. But do this. Cross over to our YouTube channel, follow the conversation there, and use the hashtag @TheArtsinHeart. Sawa sawa. So kwa wale ambao wajui, ndio hiyo jina ya YouTube channel, as you can see on your screen, that is the TheArtsinHeart official. So move over, subscribe, and share the link with your friends, because tonight we are managing our debts. So Fridah, anyone will be asking me, Eli, I have debt, and you're talking about debt management. So what is debt management in your own simple understanding?
This is what I think debt management is, in layman's language, is being able to have that which you have, which is now a debt, and manage your life. You have it, and be able to live your life to the fullest as you work towards being able to clear that debt. Or now you have this debt and everything is working. Probably you took it for business, whatever it is that you're doing, but your life is still moving smoothly as you continue to pay. Because I feel like when we hear about debt management, we're always thinking, I want to finish up. And probably it's going to take you 7 months. It's going to take you 7 years or 12 years or 25 years. Does it mean your life stops? So being able to live your life while you're still doing right by what you have as a debt. That's my understanding, Eli.
Wow. I'm telling you, if dictionary was your friend, I will call you dictionary upgraded. But anyway, again, if you read through, they say debt management is a way to get your debt under control through financial planning and budgeting. Ladies and gentlemen, underline the word planning and budgeting. Those two words are not the same, but they are similar in one way or other. They correlate. So the goal of debt management, as you can see on my screen, is to plan. Debt management plan is to use these strategies that you're going to figure out tonight together to help lower your current debt, with the main aim of completely doing away with the debt.
Yes.
Sawa.
Yes.
So let's start there.
Mhm.
How are we managing our debts, Madam
Let's
Frida?
start by saying early first, debt is actually a good thing. Because I feel like we were brought up in families where we are told, hey, Danny, so you have fear. I've been that person for a very long time until I actually took a class on, financial management. And I realized actually debt is a good thing. And you need to understand that. We need to agree that debt is not a bad thing. What you do with that money or what you do with that which you've taken is what matters now. And that will now direct you towards knowing you took either good debt or a bad debt. And the good debt here comes back into, is it something that you put in a place where you're able now to grow money back and pay whatever you owe your company, your friend, whoever it is that you took the money from? Or did you take a bad debt where you took and then you did something, a consumable kind of thing? You bought a car, or maybe you bought a phone, ama uliamua upeleke Eli Dubai. So
Mimi ndio upeleka watu Dubai, tafadhali reverse that statement. Mimi ndio tajiri mkuu.
Oh, wewe ndo tajiri mkuu. Eli ulichukua pesa ukaamua kupeleka Fridah Dubai ama Bahamas. No, that is what now would get you understanding. I've taken this money. How am I planning to pay it? Planning, like you said, Eli, on your definition, planning your financials so that you understand, am I able to pay this debt? And sometimes we find ourselves, Eli, in that, that cocoon where you already have the money you took already. Probably your mother was sick. Sometimes we take it for the wrong reasons, but we are here. We have the money already. You have the debt. How do you clear it? That's where we get to understand now. Nitajiplan aje, nitalipa kidogo kidogo, nitaanza na gani? How many debts do you have? Is it 1? Is it 10? Who owes who? I mean, how many people are on your door? Are they expecting you to pay after 2 months or 3 months? So understand that, so that now you can plan towards knowing, how do I start payment?
There's something that you mentioned, Frida, and I want us to actually get into it. You've mentioned about the facts, the types of debts or credit we could be having. And one that stands out, and I need our viewers tonight to focus on it, is what we call consumer loans.
Yes.
Unknown to many, consumer loans are very attractive. Okay.
Yeah.
When you walk into the bank, and an example of your consumer loan could be that M-Shwari request you make. Haina struggle mingi. But when you look at the interest rate, that is where the catch is. So the thumb rule to understand is consumer loans, unlike investment loans, they are highly indexed in terms of interest rates.
Yes.
So the first thing you want to do, as I fix my connection there, sorry about that. The first thing you want to do as somebody that owes credit or debt, you owe people money, you want to eliminate a consumer loan, because if it's a bank loan, for example, it has the highest interest on it. That is the first one. What would be your second one that you would think we need to look at, Frida?
Now, there are different loans that you get, especially when you go to a bank or probably a credit facility. There is also probably an emergency loan that you took that also has like high interest, because I mean, it's emergency. So you take it like this, and then the bank expects you to pay probably in a year or probably in 6 months. So they also want to be able to maximize on that. Then, when you're now spreading it to many years. So you also need to look at that and understand, if I've taken 100K, which I'm supposed to pay probably in 3 months, then that means I'm paying this amount, probably 40, which ends up to this amount. Are you able to reduce that a little bit so that you don't pay the much interest? Because sometimes we don't think through when it comes to interest, Eli. We've taken that consumer loan, and ushamaliza shughuli zako, and now you're moving, but you've never really sat down and asked yourself, by the time I finish paying this loan, how much interest is here? Wewe umeangalia naeza lipa, yes, but how much interest is here? And Eli, that takes us back to, how am I able to reduce the interest of this loan? So that at the end of it all, yes, I'm able to pay it, but not with a huge interest. Sometimes you take $1 million and you pay 3 million. And it can be draining to think through it, which we don't do most of the time. So think through that, so that now you plan yourself to understand, how can I reduce this interest from 3 million to 2 or maybe 2.5? And that is something I feel like we need to learn ili tuseme uko na loan ya bank, uko na loan ya sacco, uko na land sijui mshwari, ulichukua sijui pesa wapi. So everywhere there is some repayment you're doing every single month. Look at it in terms of, what if it was one thing? What if, Ellie, I'm bringing this into one thing? So that means when you have different loans in different facilities, it could be a circle, bring them all together if possible, and then make it one, so that now you get one repayment. And so many things come into consideration when you do things. The interest rate, probably they've gone down, or maybe you want to be able to reduce the repayment period and bring it down. Or maybe you also want to bring them together. Instead of paying 20K in different places, you pay the same 20K and still get an extra 50K loan that probably is for emergency. So there are so many things, Eddie, you look at when you're now doing this consolidation. That's a very
and the word there that actually you're trying to put across is consolidation. Yes. And I want our viewers to actually be very, very careful with this kind of offers, because a lot of financial institutions will peddle this and dangle it at your face and say, hey, we take your 50K, and then we give you another 10K on top of it. And then, this 50K that you owe so many institutions, you compound it into one, and then we clear it for you. And then you just have to settle on paying 1K per month for the next 20 years. Now, this is interesting to note that credit consolidation is actually one of an aspect of trying to manage your debt. But there's a difference between debt management and credit consolidation. But a lot of people then get sold this idea that you are managing your financial status by putting everything under one roof. We've heard of SACCOs that want to buy off your loans. Great idea. What you need to do is take pen and paper, get into the details. The first detail you want to look at, if, for example, you had 5 consumer loans and one mortgage loan, that's an investment loan for that matter, look at it. If the mortgage period was supposed to be 10 or 15 years, and you've paid off your mortgage up to 10 years, you still have 5 years.
5 years to
What
go.
do you stand to lose by switching and buying off, somebody buying off this loan from you? There's one thing you have to notice is it's always the catch on the repayment time. That's important. How much would you have to repay if you're repaying in terms of interest? And what would be the repayment, what do you call it? The amount you have to pay monthly, the installments you have to repay back?
Every
Look
month.
at it. The repayment amount you have to pay every month, because that is where the catch is. You'll get a good deal. Somebody telling you, Fridah, you have 50K as your total amount of credit that you owe this and that financial institution. So we are going to give you 10K extra and take this 50K. This 10K, you can pick a share with it. But now, to pay us back, you have to pay a 15% on the interest. But on top of it, don't worry. You just have to pay 1,000 per month, because right now you're paying 1,500. Now,
and that feels like a very good deal, Ellie. That feels like a very good deal. And I feel like, and banks have mastered that art. Like sometimes interest go down. So zilikuwa 16, and then you're like, yeah, interest have gone down to 14. And then now they get onto your screen, they get onto your phone and send you messages, interest have gone down to 14. Now, for you as a person who has a loan probably with a bank, and you have another loan with a SACCO and another loan to do with what, they come and tell you, hey, now here we are. You're paying our bank 10,000 every month. You're paying SACCO 5,000 every month. You're paying this other 2,000 every month. What if we bring them? Now, remember, for SACCO, it could be a cheaper interest rate. It could be probably 1%. Now, you're still bringing that to the 14, right? You're still bringing that. So probably you paid SACCO for like 3 years, and now you have like 2 years left. So you bring that, the balance here, probably it was 500K, and then the bank was another 1 million. So now you have 15 combined together, 1.5. And then the other one was 200, 1.7. And then you're told, now we are still going to take the 12 that you are paying us. And guess what? I'm going to give you 2 million. So I'm giving you 2 million. So you're also going home with actually some money that you didn't have. And that's where the catch is most of the time. Kenyans want money. So I'm giving you an extra money. So you feel like, yeah. So you actually give me extra money. Yes, I'm giving you 600 to go home with, and I'm clearing. So you don't have to deal with SACCO. You don't have to. But remember, the SACCO loan was probably 1%. So it's now been brought to 14%. So as you think through in terms of consolidating your debts, you also need to think in terms of how much interest rate am I picking from here to here? It could be a good thing. Maybe uko walikuwa nakata pesa mingi and now you want your payslip to look better. That could be another good thing. Or maybe you have an emergency and you really need money and your payslip is full. So how do I pay this? How do I get my business moving? So if I'm able to get the extra 600K and put in business and it's able to give me back another 20K, then it makes sense. So do your math. What is this versus this? And what is working and what is not working? That is the part you don't do. You don't do the math.
And just before we can call it, close of that discussion of consolidation, let me make this clear that it is never by the idea to consolidate debts or credits for that matter if the odds are playing towards your benefit. Number one, I want to insist, look at the repayment terms you've been given. And in this case, look at how long do you need to service this kind of credit you're receiving. The new, there's a word they use. They have tried actually to refinance. That's the word. They're refinancing you. So once you look at the refinancing deal that is coming to your table, analyze it in this manner. How many years more do I have to repay? Because at one level or another, we say debt management, your aim is to completely do what? Pay off your debt and be debt free. But if this new refinancing is going to extend your time or period that you need to finance that credit, then probably it's not playing towards your ambition as an individual of being debt free. And last but not least, and I know there are so many of others that are included in this package of consolidation, but I want you to remember one thing, that if the deal you are getting, for example, the first one you had consumer loans that were fixed or flexible interest rates. So they go according to the market rate and how things and how volatile the market is. You need to look at if the new one that I'm receiving is, let's say, 2% fixed for the next 2 years. And based on the market behavior, there's been shooting from 1% to 20%. Like now the government decided kitu itakuwa 7.5 and all that. So look at that. What is the possibility of this interest rate staying stable for the next 10 years that you're being given? Then, only then you can make your decision if you want to consolidate your credit or not consolidate it. But I want us to go back to the repayment plans that we can employ when we have credits, especially when it's family. And as we said earlier, family credit ni tamu, lakini what are the disadvantages? And I want Fridah Nguku to give us when we come back. Every Friday we have the creative space and some of the discussions that happen here. Listen in.
I came to Nairobi for the first time in my life after campus, after campo. Nikitembelea auntie yangu fulani here and there, but officially I came after campus. And one thing that I told myself deep down, nilijiambia uko ndani, I have never seen women. I have not been seeing women. The women are here.
And yes, that is Creative Space every single Friday right here on Art in Heart. But now we're getting back to Shida Za Matajiri. And tonight we are discussing a very interesting topic with Shida Tajiri hapa. We are talking about debt management. Let's get to the comment section haraka haraka, because unajua, unfortunately, Shida Matajiri is the shortest program we have here on Art in Heart. We only have 30 minutes to make sense and your money makes sense to you. Right on time there by Godi Segero. Asante sana for coming through tonight, sir. We appreciate you. We have Nancy Magen who says good evening and good evening to you. Henry hapa kwingine anatuambia Shida ni za mababi, sisi wachochole. Hizi ni shida za mababi, sisi ni wachochole. Okay. Gaddafi says, keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Gaddafi. And Robinson Bosire, let me read this one from Robinson. He's asking, hello, how can you help someone who offers a microfinance to pay
A.
a microfinance A to pay microfinance B, and lives their life ping pong debts.
Debt.
I know someone
Wow.
who's close to me who is in this situation. And I
Wow.
think, Frida, we need to address this with our closing remark on the issue to do with consolidation of credit, because I believe this is what is happening. Go ahead.
I feel like a lot of people are there. I take, and that's something we need to say. Don't take debt to pay debt. That is wrong. Let's start there. Don't take money from one institution to pay another, because the more you keep hopping from one club to another, like people say, you may hop from this club to this club, it means you're carrying kuna baggage unabeba hapa, you take to this other. So if you do the math properly, you're carrying so much interest. At the end of it all, my goodness, you're paying a lot of interest. So this is what I feel. If you have a friend who is paying A to B, that's an addiction. People get to that point where, since I'm not able to clear this and I don't want issues, let me carry this. You are gonna time and you pay time. So what you're doing is you're extending your period of payment. Because if you take here to this, you've cleared here. So here you have 3 years. So it's a cycle. So from 1 year to 3, or to 3 months, or to 5 months. So this is it. Sit down with yourself and plan around that debt. If you have 50K here, and if it's a microfinance, necessarily it wouldn't be like a huge thing, not like a big loan. I'm thinking so. So if you have 50K,
the interest
over
is always the problem.
Yes, the interest is always the problem, which people don't really look at. So do the math in terms of interest, and look at it this way. Kama niko na 100 hapa, nimepeleka hapa the same 100, wamenilipia probably 120. You know, doing that, it means you want to get something extra early. Most of the time, you want to get something that 20K, that 10K. Calculate the interest. I think sometimes when you visualize and see that, you're able to drive and say, you know what, let me look for more, increase a little bit of income, and start paying for the principal. And this is something I want to mention early before you come in. When you're paying loan and you get to probably get another income, and you want to clear this loan a little bit fast, really reduce, you want to clear that, please ensure that whatever money you're putting into that account or into that debt is paying the principal and not the interest. Something people don't know. When you are paying the first few months, that facility, the microfinance or the bank takes interest as 70 and not, there's 70-30. So 70 is principal, is interest, that is principal. So you're paying your loan, but it's not moving fast. So every time you're taking that loan back, unapeleka huku, they start taking interest more as a balance to ensure that wamepata. Because for them, they want to get back their money before you get to a point where you're not able to pay. So remember that. So that when now you start getting 1,000 and put in here, you put to principal and not interest.
That's interesting that you mentioned, and I know this is a bit complicated kind of discussion to have in a fraction of minutes, but we have 7 minutes tops. We'll try to push this, darling. We're gonna try this now. Let's do this, Matajiri wenzangu. Let's understand one thing. Your main aim of debt management is to be debt free. Truth be told, all of us at one point or another owe people debts. Could be financial institutions, could be individuals, and could be, those 2 small chamas that you guys merry-go-rounds go in and put in money and borrow from man A and man B vikombe. Do not make it a habit to dig one hole to fill the other. Because you are always recycling the process. And
you're bringing it back. Ni kama unarudisha, ni kama unaenda steps and then you take 10 steps back. Because it starts afresh.
Number 2, there's one thing that they say. The only way to solve a debt is to actually pay it up.
Yes.
So look at your debts. If you have the possibility, pay off fast the consumer loan. If you get an extreme, let's say rain comes and you've harvested well, and all of a sudden you have an extra 30K on top of your monthly budget.
Yes.
Go for the consumer loan, pay extra on that. Because then you reduce your interests. And if you're reducing interest, you're actually gaining money back.
And however, on that note, as you come to the however, if you have like 3 loans, let me not even use the word consumer loans. If you have 3 loans, you have 500K, you have 200, and you have 100. There's a recommendation. Start with the small loans. And people tend to think they need to start with the big loans. And the problem with starting with the big loans is it's going to take you 5 years while you're still paying this to Dogo and carrying the 5. Now, if you start with the small loans, it means if you have 100K, which you're supposed to pay, of 200K in a duration of probably 1 year, and then you focus more on that. So the little money you get, you clear this. It means the repayment you are having for the 100K, which is probably 3, 4K or 5K, now you can move that repayment to the bigger loan. So if the bigger loan you're clearing with 10K, now the 5K that was on the small loan, you've already taken it to the repayment of the big loan. So that means you're not paying monthly of 10K, you're not paying a monthly of 15K. So that means your repayment is more. And that means it reduces again your repayment time, or should I call it, that period, the period you're supposed to finish up the loan. So start with the small loans so that it gives you the repayment that you've been putting here to add up to the big loan, and then it reduces back. People always think they need to start with the big loans, but that's not true. Start with the small loans.
Definitely. And I want to insist on that point. The point that you have to look at it is this one. A financial institution will give you more money, and I want to widen my arms, because it's a secured amount.
Yes.
Those tiny monies you have here and there, they are not so much secured, and therefore the interest will always be top of the roof. Meaning, you're coming back to where we started. They are consumer loans.
Yeah.
So the faster and earlier you pay off these not so important loans that you have to pay 10 bob here and then 50 here and do away with them, you've actually, from the 10 and 50 that you are doing, you now have 60 shillings in your pocket that you can help to offset the current
other one,
investment loan that you have.
Let's call it the main.
Exactly. There is this, you know, the other day we were talking with the Shuchi on the creative space, and this character in the book of Things Fall Apart used to strip his debt on the wall. So he was saying, I'll pay the one that is much longer compared to the shortest stick. So that's how he used to arrange and do his debt management. However, this could only be applicable because you want to play games with people's money. If you take money from a friend, a relative, or somebody that has an acquaintance with you, the best standard practice is pay up. If you had an agreement and probably you cannot fulfill that agreement, reach out, negotiate a new repayment plan. Don't switch off your phone like most of you matajiri do. Matajiri wenzangu, credit worthiness is an important aspect. And that's why most of us right now cannot access 1,000 shillings jumlipigo blacklist, even though our dear president decided to play like him and offloaded this blacklist thing from us. Thing is, very few people can trust you with their money. And credit worthiness, as they say, or credit worthy, is the ability for somebody to lend you money without feeling the discomfort of you not paying back. But what happens is, if you take from Fridah to pay Ellie, and tomorrow go back to Ellie to pay Fridah, you will think you are smart, but eventually you are caught in your own play. And then Fridah will talk to Ellie, and Ellie will know what Fridah said, and then you become a lone ranger. So guess what? Tajiri mwenzangu, pay your debts and make a good name for yourself. Fridah.
Yes. This is what I think, I feel like if you find yourself in debt, please adjust your life. Adjust your life. There's always something you can do. I was told that in my financial class. There's always something you can do to reduce. It could be your makeup was 5K, make it 2. Take the 3. Write down everything. And then nakulanga nyama weekly. You can do it every day in a week. You can do once in a week. Save that 100, that's 200. Every coin that goes into paying debts is never a waste. It always reduces your debt. It always gets you to the other end of clearing your debt. So adjust your life. If you have debts, the first thing to do is adjust your life. Look at what surrounds you. What can you reduce? Where can you save up and be able to take off whatever it is that is you're paying, a loan, a bank, a circle, your friend, whatever it is, but adjust your life.
Adjust your life. You don't necessarily need to pay for those subscriptions that give you entertainment, as you spend more money watching your TV and more money paying your electricity bill because you're watching your old TV the whole day trying to kill stress. Stress is one of the reasons that people fall into depression. And sometimes money is involved. So kama tajiri, if you sort out your credit or your debt situation, you're actually sorting out your health situation. See you tomorrow night on Creative Space as we bring you In My Opinion with the Shuchi Lumumba, of course, and go 254, and yours truly, Likuyani Eli. Fridah, ambia watu kwa heri tuende kwetu mali tunaenda.
Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Call me Fridah Nguku, and see you on Wednesday for Girls Talk. Bye.
And definitely tumemalizia na Remy, who says, totally agree, discipline in money management is key. Until next time, it's been real, bringing you Shida Za Matajiri. And in case you love this program, let us know so that we can bring you season 2 and a complete one. Good night. God bless you. And we are out. Twende.
Twende manzi.